Are we up? What we got here? Hello, Dave, it says. Good morning, guys. New location today. This is going to be a bit of an experiment. Not an experiment, I mean, I know what I'm going to be doing today, but the location, the camera setting, moving the camera around, it's all going to be a bit fly by the seat of our pants today, because nothing is established. I've got no idea if I'm going to be able to finish this book in the time we've got today, but whatever, we're going to try. Okay. You know, we're doing the Ukiyo-e Heroes book. There's going to be a bound volume with 10 Ukiyo-e Heroes prints inside it. A few weeks back, you saw me make the covers. Which camera should I show here? You saw me make the covers. It also became a YouTube video. Well, today, we're going to try and put together the first sample book. The Kickstarter campaign, we put up 10 volumes. We said we'd make 10 of them. But I've got enough parts to make 12. The idea being 10 for the Kickstarter backers. I'm going to keep one, and one goes to Jed to keep Jed. So this will be the first sample book today. And it might be rough, who knows, whatever. It'll be the one I keep for myself. We'll worry about that later. So we've got the parts. The two covers, which we made before. Went to Kinko's a few days ago, and I've printed out on a reasonably nice paper the body texts. The part that goes inside, describing each of the prints. I've got 10 sheets of interleaving paper, soft, thin, white paper. This will go on, one sheet will go on top of each of the prints inside the book. And then, of course, I've got the 10 prints. Now, we didn't do an edition of 10 to make this book. What we did was each time we printed a batch of these prints over the past half a year or so, we put in some extra wide sheets for the printers so that we would have sheets available for bookbinding. There's 10 prints going to be in this book, and 9 of them I carved myself. They're the first 9 of the Ukiyo-e Heroes prints we made, starting with the rickshaw cart back. Then when I got down to the 10th one, this is where we started using our other carver, Kawasaki-san, the young carver who's been doing our subscription prints for the past couple of years. She carved this one. And they're all embossed. It says, carving bull. That last one says carving Kawasaki. Then the printers, we've been using a different batch of our printers all year long. The first one here is printed by Kubota-san. Next one's Kubota. Next one is Tetsui-san, young Hirokazu Tetsui. Next one's Tetsui-san. Next one's Chiharu, Kanai Chiharu-san. Then Ayumi Miyashita, when she was still Miyashita before she got married. Who else have we got? That's also Miyashita-san. This is Namabe-san, Namabe Shinkichi. He did that one as well. Then Chiharu-san did this. So we got a batch. 5 of our printers are represented in this book. As I said, we put 10 of them on the Kickstarter campaign. There's been lots of demand for them since then. I can't make any more right now. We'll do these 10 and that's it. Then probably, maybe when the Ukiyo-e Heroes series is extended farther, we've got 6 more in production now. When there's 4 more, when it's the next 10. When we've got 20 heroes, we'll make a couple more books. We'll do volume 1 again, then we'll do volume 2. Anyway, this morning, let's get busy. Okay, a bit of backstory. I've got some tools for bookmaking. Tools that I built myself about 10 years ago when I was making my Solitudes, the series of books, the series of prints that I called my Solitudes. It was a set of 12 prints plus book. When did I do this? 2008, it says. If you're curious, there's a website, woodblock.com/solitudes. And the idea was a book, which was 12 chapters plus a woodblock print. And of course, we bound them. So I didn't do all the binding myself. What I did was I learned how to do it, then built a set of tools that could do it, and then a couple of housewives who lived near my house back then when I lived out in Hamara. They did the binding for me. So I've dredged up those old tools here. And the new book, the Ukiyo-e Heroes book, is not going to be the same size as these. So what I did yesterday, I put some shims into the jigs here so that the book of the smaller size will fit in the same jigs. I'm not going to just explain it right now. You're going to see how it works as we go along. But basically the concept is this. I've got 2 clamping sections. And what they're made from plywood. They open, and the book parts are held in here for drilling and sewing. And you see these circles here. Inside the wood, I buried flat neodymium magnets. And there's some magnets buried into the base unit, magnets buried into the back of these things, and magnets buried into the front. So it goes like this. The base unit sits on the desk. This thing pops in by magnet. It opens up, the book goes in, and magnets clamp it shut. Now these are strong, what are they called? Neodymium, those circular things. They just pop. Anyway, whatever. I can talk too much with nothing happening. Let's sort of start to get this going. First step, of course, is to assemble the inside parts, and I've got to get the... First step is to cut this. They came from Kinko's in an oversized form, the inside text section, so I've got to cut that down. And what I've got here, I'm going to have to rotate the camera. This is going to be going back and forth all day long here, just a sec. So rotate the camera. There's 3 positions. That's the binding jig. I've got a drilling jig set up. And I've also got a guillotine cutter. So let's go over there to do this section first. There's a sample I got to show the size somewhere around here. Come in. Let's get to it. Okay, should we zoom in? What should we do here? I think there's still more explanations too, so let's stay there for a moment. Okay. Here we go. Here's the middle. Okay, let's do the assembly. Get this out of the way. Prints, interleaving paper, book text. My hands are cold, I'm sorry. This place has been closed all night. So what I should do is just get it together. Here we go, Blue Storm. Flight of Fantasy. I hear a question there. I guess there's going to be tons of questions. Let me just get this roughly together first so I can... This is Trouble Afoot. Did you notice that Trouble Afoot print? It's the one print in that series that doesn't have a cartouche. All the rest have a cartouche with the names and motto, and that print doesn't. Jed was adamant about that. He didn't want to spoil the image by putting text into it. Don't know that anybody's ever noticed. Nobody's ever said anything. My Uniqlo, yeah. Japan lives on Uniqlo, and the world probably, I don't know. Question of jigs. How many jigs do we make for these things? You know, when you're making hundreds of something, you can make pretty extensive, complicated jigs, you know. When you're making one of something, there's nothing. And when you're making 10 of something like this, it's difficult how much time to expend on making jigs, you know. Soul Leader, I like that one very much. Infestation, that was a fun one to make. So difficult, so much overlaid color. The Hero, we got some static on this one. People complained we put the sword upside down. You know. Oh, watch, I've done something here. Fox. I must have given somebody 2 sheets. Here we go. Oh yeah, 2 sheets on this one. Look at that. Okay. We have to get this close, so it's going to be trimmed again, of course, on the outside. All right, let's get to the real action. Okay. Okay, the way this is going to work is this. The way Japanese books are made is the inside part, the book block. I don't even know the Japanese word for it, but in Western terms, it's a book block. Nothing to do with the covers. The book block is sewn together first. And then when that's ready, then the inside part is sewn together with the covers. And it's the part that's sewn with the covers that's what you're going to see later. This sewing with the silk thread, this is the sewing, it's quite light, and this isn't actually holding the book together. This is holding the covers onto the central core, the book block. And the book block is held together with thin strips of Japanese washi paper, rolled into a form called koyori. I should have had one here for a sample. Just a sec, let me get one as a sample. Hang on. God, it's been years since I made these, so I don't know if I can still do it. But anyway, let's have a look. Okay, what we've got is a thin strip of Japanese thin washi, and I'm going to have to roll it in a minute now into the form like this, which is, it's actually making thread, making a kind of thread out of Japanese paper. And actually, there's another part of the backstory here. What we want here is super thin, strong Japanese washi, but we didn't have it in our workshop. We have paper that's really quite thick for printmaking. So I hunted around and I remembered that I had some real thin paper. This is an interesting story. When I made a scroll print, it's, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, to make a scroll print in wood-block printmaking is a bit of a paradox. We do our printmaking in very thick paper. So you finish the print, and you can put it in a frame or you can look at it whatever you want. But you can't roll it up because the paper's too thick. So when I made the scroll, I ordered from the paper maker before I started some paper that was made in a double layer pattern. And what he does is he dips and rocks the paper, dips and rocks it, and then dips and rocks again so that the paper has a two-layer structure. I printed the thing normally, the scroll, finished making the woodblock print. And then once it was finished, I tease from the back and peel the back half of the paper off. And what I've got here, those of you who know that scroll picture I made, can you see the ghost of the image here? This is the back half of the paper that came off one of those prints for the scroll. I didn't throw it away because I'm a pack rat. And we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of these. And they are now just the perfect size for making these koyori. So let's try. See if I can remember how to do this. How many years has it been? Can I get in front of the camera? Excuse me for spitting here. I got to get this wet. We have to turn the slip of paper into a piece of strong Japanese washi string. Cord. Here we go. It's coming. And of course, I didn't invent any of these techniques. This is all well-established stuff. The housewife who made the books for me, after I trained her how to do this stuff, we made hundreds and hundreds of those books. There were like 100 subscribers and there's 12 books in the set. So she made, over 1,000 of these books. So she got pretty good at this. I'm not. Okay, there's one. It's called koyori. See if I can do it again, or if that was beginner's luck. The start is important here because you got to get a good strong point, because you'll see in a minute we have to put this into a hole. Is it visible on camera? Is the bot giving trouble there? Okay, here we go. There we have 2 coyote. And we're going to use these to tie the book block in place. Let's put them down. Move on to the next step. Okay, as I said, we've got a jig here that should hold the thing in place while I do all the parts. Let me bang it down once. Okay, the book goes in the jig, face down. I see a loose sheet. Just a minute. I see one sheet trying to escape here. That's better. Looks good, looks square. Another question. Hang on, guys, I'll try and get to it, but just a minute, Nate. Okay, face down in the jig. Now, I'll have to move the camera for the next part. Station number 2, drilling the holes. We have a little mini drill press here. This comes off the jig, over here. Temporary clamp comes off. I've got some scribbled marks on here. Now this is going to go directly on. We're now going to drill 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a template. You can see the holes are marked for later on for the sewing. Right now we're going to drill the holes for the coyote. Let's come back. Onto the magnets. Now the book is face down. Let me get this right. The book is face down in there, so we want to put the coyote down from the top. No, we want to put the coyote up from the bottom because we want to tie it on the back. Okay. So, excuse me here while I get a little bit of a reamer. Ream just a bit of this hole here. And here we go. I've drilled 2 holes. The coyote is going to go up and down. Here we go. Glasses change, glasses change, glasses change. I can't see anything. Try and find them here. Ishikawa-san, the lady who made those Solitudes books for me, she could just rip right through this. Me, I'm probably going to spend the whole hour just mucking around with this bit by bit by bit. She was so good at it. Coming up. There we go. Partly in place. I think I do have these holes a little bit on the small side. Anybody still with us here? I don't know. This is going to be a slow stream today, getting these books done. And I'm just going to do one here this morning. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and do this 50 times. Here we go. Up she comes. Whoa, much better. A little bit of practice. Up one hole. Down the other. Okay, get a bit closer to see what's going on. I drilled the 2 holes. You see, I drilled 2 holes for each one. Then we took our twisted sheet of paper and I up and down. And what we'll now do is we'll flip this thing over. Is it a bit more clear? Good. And it goes in a simple X over, left over right tie. This one's a bit short. A simple left over right tie. Pull it tight. And then what happens next is interesting. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Oops. You beat the crap out of it. Japanese book binding, step 1 complete. There's the middle core of the book now. This is the point where I find out one of the prints is upside down. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, that's step 1. Let's get this back because we're going to need the jig again for the next part. Okay, you saw the opening thing that clamped. I was able to see the book part. That's part 1. I have another one, also with neodymium magnets, ready to hold. And this is the one that will now hold the book together with the covers while it's sewn together this way. I haven't watched the chat. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. Persuader, yeah. So. Okay, the book goes in here now. Face up. This is a little bit different. The previous one, the base was flattened so that the book block went in there just flat and neat. This one's a bit different because we want the covers to be sticking past the edge of the book a little bit. So I've got to go back to my guillotine and trim this, but at the moment I don't know how much. So let's have a look here. The middle part still now is a bit too big, so I've got to go trim it back on the guillotine. It's going to need to be trimmed on 3 edges. Looks pretty square. Okay, let's get back over there. This is a tool I really hate, you know, because one mistake and you've screwed up a stunning amount of work, you know. Imagine if I cut this 1 centimeter too short or something. I really, really hate this tool. Double check, height, 2.0, minus 1 millimeter height. Check, 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 height. What's that beeping? Okay, still good. When the jig has a slot at the back, the covers go into the slot, the book goes against the base, the top cover overhangs. Not quite in there properly. Okay, that's in. I think I'll turn this way. Okay, we have our book shape. Now, sew it together. Book goes in here face up. It's sticking out just enough. And we're going back to the drill. Back to the drill. Okay, camera back and forth. This time now, instead of 2 pairs of holes, we just get 4 straight holes. Still not quite lined up. Just give me a second to get this right. Okay. Back goes the jig. Back we go. Now I need to zoom in for this next part, I think, because it's going to be close work. All right, we finally get to the actual sewing. We have silk thread, 90 centimeters of it, enough to go around the book with some extra. This next part I should have prepped in advance because it's going to take me a while. Master Craftsman Dave Bull tries to thread a needle. This may take a while. It might go straight through or it might not. I should have done this in advance. We got it in. Hey, miracle, miracle, miracle. We need a knot on the end. It's too bad. I know the woman who did the book binding for me years ago for the Solitude series. The reason I chose her, her kids and my kids were in the same class back together. She lived nearby. Kids are always playing together, good friends. So she did this work for me. So when we did the Henry manga book a few years ago, I called her back up. We've got some more books. Would you like to do it? And she's like, no, I'm sorry, thanks. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore, So I wasn't sure. Maybe she thought it was because I wasn't going to pay enough or whatever. So I said, well, we'll pay. We'll pay more than what we paid last time. She was like, no, thanks. Really, I really don't want to do that. So I really needed something to do that. So I said, well, we'll pay double what we paid last time. I said, well, that's nice, but no thanks. So unfortunately, she won't be back here. Okay, what we've got here now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. And this is an interesting process. Let me just make sure I'm lined up. Not quite 100% sure I'm lined up here. Now we want to hide the start and end of this. So in we go from the back, from the spine. What's the best way to get the camera angle here? If I work this way, can the camera see what's going on? I'm going in the spine, try and locate the hole. That must be Cameron coming in, I guess, is it? Not too much. Here we are, found a hole. Good morning, sir. We're live. We're on. It's been a bit of a awkward stream for me. I'm so the work is so finicky here. I can't sit and watch the chat and see what's going on. So I have no idea what's really been going on here, if anything. I guess so. You do the usual thing, get this junk out of the way, twist it round, and see.
Okay.
Get this stuff out of the way, maybe, whatever. I'll keep the main camera here.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't know, we're okay with it. Yeah, it's up to you. I should go. I'm not sure about the camera. Should I keep the camera here, or should I... Maybe this way is better, can I? So... There's 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thread's gone in. And now we start sewing.
Morning! This has been a seriously impressive amount of work to bind just one book.
Well, it's the first one. I know, yeah. I mean, like I was saying to the stream, when we did 1,000 books, the Solitudes books,
yeah,
we did over 1,000 of them. So I built the jigs and trained her, and we mucked around 1 and 2 and 3, practicing, But then once she got going, man, she could do it like crazy. And my problem now is I haven't done this in when did the Solitudes books come out? 2008 or something?
Yeah, so almost 10 years ago.
So I'm trying to stumble with my 10 years ago's jigs and tools, trying to remember how to do this. But yeah, these books are handmade.
Yeah.
Good or bad. I mean, all of our stuff's handmade, of course, but So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. There's a pattern to go around through the 4 holes, up and down, up and down. This part I remember.
So much of that's why she didn't want to do it again. 1,000 books.
I know. Yeah, right. I know.
Yep, mystery solved.
Well, actually, no. It's half right, half wrong. This was Ichikawa-san, who none of you guys have ever met because she doesn't work for me anymore. So she did a really good job. She was happy at it. She enjoyed the work. I paid her really well for it. It was good. The problem is that she simply, got a real job. After the kids grew up, after my kid grew up and her kid grew up, she got a real job. So she wasn't able to do part-time at-home house. This doesn't work anymore. So there's nothing evil about this. She just had real work to do. But now Yasui-san, the lady who's doing our packing, the one who replaced Ishikawa-san, doesn't want to do it because
1,000 books.
No, we only have 10 this time. But she thinks Dave is too noisy. And she's sort of right. If I tried to show her how to do it. And I made a big mistake. Her first ones, whatever, were a little bit off, wasn't quite right. And I'm like, no, let's get a bit closer. No, let's get a bit closer, whatever.
Yeah.
And she got the idea that this was going to be the job from hell.
Yeah.
And I'm not such an awful guy, but whatever. Sometimes we try and, whatever. We try and do things like to close tolerances, And so she said, no, I'm not going to get involved with this,
Yeah.
So she's a nice lady and everything else, but I get it.
Yeah.
So because there's only 10 of them, whatever, I'm going to do them myself. This first one is really clumsy because I haven't done it in years and years and years. Mm-hmm. So maybe whoever gets the first one, well, I'll probably keep the first one myself, I guess. I don't know, because it's the most clumsiest one. Mm-hmm. And by the time I get to number 12, we're doing 10 plus 2, 1 for me, 1 for Jed. By the time I get to number 12, I'll probably be really good at it.
Yeah. Binding books professionally could be her real job now after doing 1,000 of them, but she did something else, you said, right?
Yeah, she has no supermarket, something out there.
Oh, okay, just something local.
Yeah.
Yes. Zilvian, you've got a question, probably for me. Did you send the subscription mail from a different address than the follow-up email? Can't find the original one anywhere, neither in the inbox or in the spam folder, but I did get the second one you sent. I'm curious if you used another mail account to send the second one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think subscription emails about invoices, sometimes when they get lost, I send a follow-up one.
We ourselves have been using different emails.
Yeah.
Woodblock.com, Mokuhankan.com. So we ourselves are chaotic in our emails at the moment.
Yeah. So
are you talking about the customer email?
Yeah, the customer is saying this. So are we sending them a different one? From a different one? It's possible. We've been using several different email addresses because some get trapped by spam, some seem to go through okay. So we're testing different things right now.
Okay, here we are. I got to flip the book over now because we got to tie it off on the back side because there's a little bit of a knot that comes up and we want to make... Oh, no, it's not. It's on the front side. What am I doing? Back. Ah, I see what I've done. I've done this backwards. Ha, ha, ha. The knot's going to be on the front. Oh, well. Soka. I forget the lessons from all those years ago. Look, this is one more. And it's going to finish now on the front side, which is not good. It should finish on the back side. That was a mistake.
Someone else. What color is this? Dark blue, right?
It's yeah, it's kon. Japanese color kon.
Okay.
This is indigo. The indigo dyeing workshop out in Ome. They dyed this thread for me. We bought white silk thread. This thread is hand dyed indigo. I mean that's like over the top. It seems that's what we had available for us. We had white silk thread. I didn't want to use white. And down the street from my house in Ome, there is an indigo dyeing workshop. So 1 + 1.
Yep.
And they were happy to throw it in their vats. Now, how do we do this? Let's see. This has to go... How do I do this tie off? This has got to go under 1, under 2, but it's got to go around itself first. Just under like this. Okay, I get it. I remember now. It goes under here, under here.
Even hand-dyed thread. This book is so cool. It is so cool.
Yeah, hand-dyed thread, really, literally, you know.
Yeah.
So,
where do you get the silk?
it's just silk, just from a silk thread shop. That's nothing exotic. You know, there are silk thread for people who do kimono making or something.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's tied in a knot there. This can now safely come off. Gotcha. Out of the jig. And there's still one step to go. There's going to be a label on the front of these. The hand-printed woodblock label that goes on the front, Ukiyo Hiro, which isn't ready yet. That'll be the...
What is this image that's printed on there right now?
That's from the Fox Moon. Oh, you didn't see that?
Okay. No.
No, we had threads, but I when I was on the stream, I printed these in what do you call it? Mother of pearl.
Oh, wow.
So, if anybody didn't see the process file, there's a YouTube video of it, which I put up about 10 days ago, showing the first part of this book binder. Okay, there we have it. There's the first actual physical book. Like I said, it's not finished. There's going to be a label on the front. Is this visible? Am I on screen?
Yeah.
Ukiyo Heroes Volume 1. And there we are. The 10 prints, they're all identified with their carvers, mostly me, except for the last one, Kubota-san. And Jed wrote some comments on why he chose each particular image or whatever, and I did mine. The prints are protected by an interleaving, and there they are. And of course, Jed signed every one. He's done his numbering. This isn't limited edition numbering; it's sequential numbering. So the first ones went out 1, 2, 3, 4, and Mario's rickshaw card is now up to 1170. But the prints, there's different levels of popularity. So you can tell that by the numbering. The Fox also is very popular. It's 844. But when you get to the end of the book, the Blue Storm, it wasn't that popular. It's 96. So there's only been a few hundred of those made. But there we have it. 10 Ukiyo Heroes prints, bound up. A little clumsily. I've got to... Look at this. Doesn't quite line up. It's also a bit too weak. I think I'll retie this one. That's the advantage of these books too, is I can just cut the string, take it off, put it back in the clamp and tie it up again. You know? And quite frequently when you buy used books from the Edo period or Meiji period, whatever, they've been used so much, the string's worn out and it's even broken, come apart.
Yeah.
So re-sewing them is no big deal at all. You know? But there we have it, the first finished book in our series. And what I'm going to do now, this afternoon, I'm going to go through, I did this start to finish. I did the central block first, then the covers. What I'm going to do for the actual 10 books we're making, I'll do the central part, all 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get good at that. I'll make the koyori all at the same time, stuff like that. So a bit of an assembly line process instead of going one to the end like I did today. And I'm going to video parts of it as I go along. So we'll have the next YouTube video should be up tonight or tomorrow, showing how these books are made. And I think people have been asking, why not do better jigs or something? What I was on the guillotine, no jig, whatever. That's it. When you're making thousands of things, you can make perfect jigs and bang, cut, bang, cut, bang, cut.
Yeah.
When you're making only a few dozen of something, it's difficult to spend days and days and days building a jig just to make
to
10 copies.
Period, yeah.
So as I said, I've adapted this jig that I used, 10 years ago for making the other prints. But it's not, because the books just don't go bang, clap, bang, clap, bang, clap.
Yeah.
So it's a bit clumsy. But there we are. There we have it. Is Jed on here today watching? Do you know? Have you seen his name?
I haven't seen his name. Jed, are you here? Silkworms, what do they eat? They eat mulberry leaves.
Yeah,
so mulberries are a big part of this.
Well, actually, I thought that at the beginning too. Wow, but it's not. It's a different mulberry plant. There are different variants of mulberry plants. Yeah. And the other thing too, to make the mulberry for paper making, you don't want leaves. It's essentially what they do. Right. And when the thing sprouts up out of the ground, they start trimming off all the outside sprouts. So just one central trunk comes up. Huh. And during the summer, they break off. Yeah. So it has almost no leaves. So it's a single stick. It looks like a bamboo almost coming out of the ground. But for the mulberry leaves for making silkworms, they want bushy leaves also because of the leaves. So unfortunately, although the plant is very closely related, maybe the same plant, I don't know, closely related.
They aren't used for the same.
They're not used for the same thing. So unfortunately, the way they cultivate the plants is totally different. So it's too bad. Otherwise you would have kimono making workshops side by side with paper making workshops, feeding off the same raw materials.
Right.
So no, unfortunately. It's nice, we've left enough gutter on the prints so that you can see the whole thing. You can see the embossing in the middle, the printer and carver's names.
Looks like Jed is not here.
Jed's not here, okay. Yeah, this is so cool. It's so cool. I mean, it's a what's the word? A geeky collector's thing, but whatever. And the fun part of it is thinking the people who get these things are really going to honor and treasure them. And it's expensive. It's $1,500 for the book, so it's expensive. 10 prints that are $150 each. So the people who get these books obviously really carefully treasure them and take care of them and do that. But you can see what might happen over the years as the years go by. Kids inherit something, or it gets sold, goes to a used bookshop, and gets bit by bit it gets separated from knowledge about what it really is.
Right.
And I can just imagine 100 years from now, 150 years from now, 200 years from now, in some used bookshop, someone's coming, a bunch of little old books, and what's this one? It's a funny shape, doesn't match the other Japanese used books, and looks at it, does a bit of Googling, or whatever it will be in 200 years. Oh my God, it's going to be such a treasure. Such a treasure. I'm really, really happy that we decided to do these. So there we have it, gang. That's today's stream. Put it back here. Yeah, it's expensive. What can I say? I mean, the prints themselves are $150 each, and when you put 10 of them in a book, plus the labor, whatever. I mean, the labor actually we're not even thinking about it. Yeah. The book price is simply the print price times 10. Yeah. So the book itself and the labor itself is actually free. Yeah. So. I see somebody's asking here, any updates on the Sawaki Gami? Yes and no. No special news. I'm doing more sizing and more testing and more sizing. And there's another sizing batch will be done tonight. We're still trying to find the balance of how to use that paper to get it so that it takes good, strong color and doesn't puff up fiber. But pretty much the same result as we said the other day. That paper is usable. We are going to continue ordering from the guy. The paper bit by bit is going to be coming into our regular production. And whether Iwano-san will be able to keep good paper coming, so we'll have 2 paper makers side by side with our production from now on, or if Iwano-san's paper continues to get worse and decays, then we'll be making the switch to Sawaki-san completely, I can't say. At the moment, there's no plans to do this, to totally abandon one paper maker to go with the other. We're going to incorporate this new paper into our workflow bit by bit by bit. sizing tonight's stream. No, thank you. It's difficult work. I'm going to be mucking and testing, and I can't run a stream at the same time. I'm sorry. And it's moving around, doing it here, doing it there, doing it here.
Carry the camera all over the place.
Back and forth. So please, no, I'm sorry. I'd like to, talk about it and show it. And if somebody else was here, a camera crew was here to do it and run streams, that's fine. But I can't do it by myself. I'm sorry. I see some questions here. Can that paper be peeled? Yeah, this is interesting too. I know, before you got here, Cameron, we were mentioning that when I did that scroll years ago, in order that we could have the finished print roll up in scroll format, it was made on a special 2-layer paper. The paper was thick enough to be able to print good, rich, deep color. Right. But once the print was finished, you peel away the back of it to leave a thin print, which could be rolled up. Okay. And I've still got left in my closet back in Oman a bunch of the back parts. This was actually peeled off the back of those things and thrown away. Now, Salaki-san's paper from the beginning is made in this kind of a layered structure. So when I get some time for it later on, what I'm going to do is do some test prints on the thick paper he's got, and then try peeling them up to see if they do peel down.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really make any difference. We're not going to be customers. Here, go ahead and peel your prints. Buy one, get 4, because it'll peel into 4 layers. I don't know. I don't think. But it's interesting. The peeled layer isn't enough to be a print by itself, but it shows a ghost image of the print.
Right.
And for me, this is so cool. I'm sure if we put these in a catalog, people would buy them or something. I don't know what it is. And they didn't all come off in one piece like this. Some of them peeled off a bit and tore, and peeled off a bit and tore, and peeled a bit and tore. And so. Some saying a Patreon goal, permanent camera crew. The reality TV show, Mokuhankan reality TV show. So. The other thing, I'm not sure. What do you think, Cameron? I know we spoke to Mr. Ogata last night.
Which one is he?
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
I said, you never knew his name.
I've only heard
Masato Ogata.
Oh, okay.
And he was loading his car. He brought his boy over, loaded his car. The sound system is gone. The computer is gone. All the jewelry is gone. And he said he'll apologize because there's going to be some noise in this building for the next few days. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's going to be a lot of noise in the building. So this is public information. Without our NDA thing, I can mention it's public information. The gentleman downstairs who runs the jewelry shop was loading his car last night. This is public information. And into his car, he put a bunch of jewelry. He took his computer out of the back room, a bunch of stuff. And then he said, David, I'm sorry, I have to apologize, but for the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's going to be a lot of noise here while we rip out all our cabinets. This was, the guy who has the jewelry shop downstairs.
Yeah.
And that's all I can tell you. It's okay. It's coming together. William, are you ready? Are you heading for the airport today, tomorrow? Is he here? William must be here. Right. He is here. Possible cameraman inbound T-minus 1 week. Look, guy, you got lots of things to do. Get some pills so you don't need to sleep 24 hours a day for a month. Whatever, it's there. Okay, guys, I got to get going. There's a crap load of things on my desk I got to get going on. You're not supposed to use this word in Japan anymore. In English, you can talk about when there's a whole bunch of work coming in front of me, like there's a train coming down a track, or something. Man, there's a tsunami of work coming in front of me. And in recent conversations with Japanese people, I've been simply translating my thoughts into Japanese. Mo tsunami no shigoto ga. And you can't say this anymore. As a cultural thing here, the word tsunami, the wave coming from the ocean, because so many people died in that tsunami a few years ago, you can no longer use the word in sort of a casual, relaxed context. I've got so much work coming. And I learned that here in Japan, it's not cool to do that anymore. So words, really, we see this, the evolution of words and words changing in meaning like this. And you can no longer use that word in a casual, relaxed, generic context. It means death, So I should maybe even stop using it in English. We have a lot of work facing us over the next month or so. Okay, I gotta go. Thanks very much, guys. It's been a zero communication from me during this stream. as I said, what I'm going to do during the rest of the day, when I do the rest of these books today and tomorrow, I'm going to put the camera on carefully, not streaming. I mean, I'm going to put the video camera on, and there will be a YouTube video up soon showing these parts really closely, what I've actually done. So for those of you who might like to be trying to do this or learning how to do Japanese bookbinding, there will be much more factual information in that. Okay, let's get out of here, Cameron-san.
Okay.
We have a ton of work to do.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching again. Tomorrow's stream will be carving. What will I be carving? The name label that's supposed to go on here, which actually I should have done months ago, but something got in the way and I forgot about it. So whatever.
It's coming.
One more delay for this book. The Kickstarter people go, one more day's delay. But, okay, I'm out of here. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Hi, hot mic situation. Look at this. You see the keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, they can see how we close this.
Yeah.
Let's move the camera in here. Oh, it doesn't show. Look at that too. It's washed out.
Yeah.
This is the OBS software, and I'm now going to click Stop Streaming.